Xianzai Kaishu! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seamaster 2019 ITTF World Tour Platinum China Open, coming to you live from Shenzhen, China. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, and this is the men's singles final. The trophy that is up for grabs is more than just a trophy. It is records to be broken. Ma Long, the captain, the dragon, the dictator, is world number 5 currently, but is the greatest player we have seen at this point in time. And his opponent, world rank number 2, the Dark Knight, LIN Gaoyuan. LIN Gaoyuan still improving his game all the time. Started off the year quite strong, winning the Hungarian Open, making it all the way to the final in Qatar, the first platinum event of the year. But there he found his match in Ma Long, who took the title. They've played twice before, and in both of those encounters, it was Ma Long who won 4-2 in Qatar, as opposed to guitar, the awesome instrument that has nothing to do with table tennis. And then in the World Championships in Budapest in 2019, a 4-0 victory for Ma Long. So their last encounter, Ma Long did not drop a game. Just had a conversation with the physio from the Chinese team, comes from Poland, I believe, about how focused Ma Long is. Many ask, is Ma Long friendly? I'll tell you about that in a moment. The short answer is yes. Fang Zhendong in the quarterfinals, Ma Long beating the runner-up from last year, Tomokazu Harimoto, in the next round. LIN Gaoyuan at the top of the list by World Tour standings, just 50 points in front of Ma Long. If Ma Long wins this match, he will have passed by LIN Gaoyuan. Good assortment of names there. Koki Niwa, Timo Boll, Zhang Wujin, Ugo Calderano, Fang Zhendong, Jun Mizutani. So many names to look forward to at the T2 Diamond first event of the year, which will be coming up in Malaysia, July, I believe. You can see that on the ITTF website, ITTF.com. The whole calendar of events next week. Next week we have the Hong Kong Open. But Ma Long has so much to play for. The question was, is he friendly? The answer is yes, but if you catch him any time between the start of the tournament and the end of the tournament, be prepared to talk to someone who doesn't appear to be there. He's so focused, unbelievably focused, that you might be good friends with Ma Long and feel like he doesn't know you during those moments because he wants so badly to win that he's very, very concentrated on everything he needs to do, even after beating Tomokazu Harimoto. Brief eye contact is maybe the most you'll get if you're not part of his practice plan. It's not a personal thing. It's just his determination to be the best of all time and to leave no doubt to that. Ma Long fan club representing China there in the crowd. Interesting. I have a funny feeling, she was watching TV. They've got a teddy bear up on screen right now. They're playing some competitions in the crowd. Give away freebies. Again, if you didn't see the women's singles final where Chun Meng won for her 3rd time, every single final she's played, she has won. She's never been runner-up here at the China Open. The same cannot be said for Ma Long. On 3 occasions, Ma Long has lost the China Open final. And you know what Xu Xin, Fang Zhendong, and Ma Lin all have in common? They beat Ma Long in the final. 2016 for Fang Zhendong. For Xu Xin, it was 2012. For Ma Lin, it was 2011. World rank number 11 not so long ago. He's currently world rank number 5, Ma Long. He's going to climb in the world rankings the more he plays. For those of you who weren't hip to the story, Ma Long had quite an injury, a recurring injury from a long time ago with his knee and his back and his neck. Everything was just sort of bothering him. For 6 months, he wasn't present on the World Tour, so his world ranking dropped significantly as participation really matters, which is part of the reason you get to see all your favorite players playing on the World Tour. So we'll be earning back those ranking points. Here's Wu Fei from China, umpire for the last match of the tournament. Andy Lee from Hong Kong. Both will be going to Hong Kong next week. Probably tomorrow, actually, as many of the players will be as well. The Chinese team, a lot of them are going to Japan to prepare. Look how fast these shots are. This is real time. And they're playing it to the short side of the table. meaning they have less margin for error here. Ma Long doing the forehand now as well. You'll see right-handed, left-handed players do this from time to time. The parallel shot is so important at this level of play. There's so much more to say about Ma Long, the Olympic gold medalist, the 3-time consecutive and standing defending world champion. He's also defending his title here. He's won this tournament 7 times already, more than anybody, including Wang Liqin, who won 6. And if Ma Long wins here, not only does he extend that title, or extend that record to 8 titles here at the China Open, but he also breaks the record of 43-year-old Vladimir Samsonov, which was set with 27 World Tour titles, the most of any individual. Ma Long will have his 28th if he can win this match, but the man standing in his way right here, the Dark Knight LIN Gaoyuan, world rank number 2, 24 years old, still has a lot to prove to the world. He's getting better and better. I think he's probably one of the most underestimated players on the Chinese national team, at least of the big players. Here we go, best of 7. Strong start from LIN Gaoyuan. Over the table, his backhand is incredibly quick. He's very fast on his feet. But Ma Long's mastery of spin, variation, trickery, agility, speed, and both wings. I mean, he's just the most complete player in the game, and he's well prepared here. He said before his only enemy is injury. He had a brief meeting with injury, took some time off. He's now back and strong. But driven behind the table, the timing of LIN Gaoyuan on top of the bounce. This is what he wants. If LIN Gaoyuan can push Ma Long back off the table, he's going to be in control. I expect the ball kid to grab that. Yes. Expectation met. Clever idea. Got Ma Long off balance, rocking back on a heel for a moment to open up the forehand side of the table, but a quality shot nonetheless from Ma Long. Over the table game, LIN Gaoyuan getting him beforehand. Looking back at the history of the China Open, this is the first final for LIN Gaoyuan to play at the China Open.
Light, 3-2.
Good touch in the short game, Ma Long tying it up. And in terms of players that LIN Gaoyuan beat to get here, Liang Jingquin, a very notable one. Liang Jingquin, 22 years old, the same age as Fan Zhendong. Very bright future ahead. Whipping backhand off the top of the net, the ball before. Ma Long quick to move in and take advantage of the ball sitting high. 74 kilometers per hour with the backhand. Short side of the table for Ma Long, and he's up by 2. Had a real scare in the first 2 games. He was down 0-1, lost 16-14 in game 1 to Tomokazu Harimoto. Wins the next game 16-14. Harimoto had 10-9, had 11-10. I know that from talking to him, actually. Harimoto studying English, improving his English. Had a chance to chat a little bit after the match. I asked him what Ma Long changed. He said nothing. Right back down the line. Quick reaction here. The truth is, watching Ma Long in the last match, despite a bit of pressure from Harimoto, who played incredibly in the first 2 games, his level did drop a little bit in the second half. In the end games of the next 3. Just had a few too many human moments against Ma Long. So fast as he turns the corner, the forehand to the short side again, extends his lead back to 2. Over 7,300 rotations per minute. I hear the engine of a car. is way One thing that Lin Gaoyuan does well is read Ma Long's pancake flip. Many see the open face of the racket and expect to push. Ma Long able to get back for that. This point was quite quick. Covers there. What feeling? Lin Gaoyuan is fast, but that's a shot that I don't know if I've ever seen from him before. Looked like he extended the racket in his hand just to cover the ball. Right off the bounce, plays the angle. It's always amazing what shots players can pull off without proper grip on the racket. Hand switches from Timo Boll, Toki Niwa. Even seen one from Ma Long. So again, head-to-head, Ma Long has not lost on the World Tour to Lin Gaoyuan before. He's 2-0. So taking this first game for Lin Gaoyuan would be a very key ingredient to making success. Ma Long threw them with the first shot to the backhand. But a slightly more passive reactionary shot, stayed in control. Again, the recovery time of Ma Long after these incredible forehand strokes, just amazing. What touch? The side spin and the backspin. A bit like a chop block on the receive. 3 game points for Ma Long to take the first. Just drying the hand on the table, wiping the sweat from the palm. Not yet. Lin Gaoyuan still fighting. In the backhand corner, saves a game point coming into the third towel break. And Gaoyuan's backhand is strong over the table. Ma Long knows this. He's going to try to bait him in like he did there to get him over the table. Counter back deep to the backhand corner. Ma Long prepares better than anybody. He stays up all night. Whenever he can, I'm sure he rests plenty because he's obviously incredibly responsible. But he thinks so much and prepares so well. Good placement here, deep out to the wide forehand from Lin Gaoyuan. Is he capable of beating Ma Long? Absolutely. But Ma Long still the favorite to win this. One more game point right now with the serve on his racket. Comes off the net and goes out. 3 game points saved. Now, it wasn't long ago that another teammate of Ma Long saved 3 game points and ended up coming back to win the game outright. Pham Jendong at the Asian Cup was down 7-10 in game number 2. He was down 0-1 in game 7-10. Lin Gaoyuan isn't even down in games right now. They're tied up and Lin Gaoyuan has the momentum and the serve. Off the top of the net from Ma Long. Lin Gaoyuan, a bit frustrated out here, but still, just 1 point between them. A whole lot of sweat flowing right now for game 1. Oh, he turns the corner blind. Flashback to 2017 Dusseldorf. Match point for Ma Long. He gets the wide one. This shot right here is absolutely stunning. Right on the line, wraps across the body, and it all pays off corner to corner. Sets him up, knocks him down. Ma Long doctors his way through and dictates game number 1. 12-10 over Lin Gaoyuan. We'll be back for game number 2 of the men's singles final right after this. Back for game 2. Ma Long in the lead at the top of the screen, again playing for not only his 8th title, but his 28th World Tour title. 8th time taking the China Open if he can do it. Lin Gaoyuan putting up quite a fight to come back from 7-10 down. And even behind the table here, able to fight. A few minor breaks for Ma Long in game number 1. Bit out in front, a little over-rotated there on the closure on the counter. It's tough not to over-close, keep the racket even when it's way out in front. This is something you can try at home right now. Just stick your hand out in front of you, pretending it's the racket. See how far you can reach. Unless the racket's completely straight with the rest of your arm, it naturally turns down or up, but it doesn't stay straight. Lead service, they'll play that again. Despite a little bit of a back pedal there, Lin Gaoyuan recovers and takes the opening attack from the backhand side. Underspin on the pendulum, and Ma Long ties it up. Definitely close right now. Of course, score-wise dead even, but game number 1 became quite tight. Ma Long leading most of the time. Considering Ma Long won 4-0 at the World Championships, a little bit too close for comfort, I would say, from the start here. Now, in terms of upsets, Chinese Super League players, Chinese teammates, from time to time have a chance, but Ma Long just with the best record of any of the Chinese team. Even against Fan Zhendong, there was a season in the Chinese Super League where I believe Fan Zhendong won 3 times against Ma Long, but on the World Tour, only twice in his life now. Timing of Lin Gaoyuan on top of the bounce. No hesitation, finds the angle. But knows right away where it is when Ma Long is that far off on the backhand side of the table. This is what Lin Gaoyuan's backhand does. It's not about big strokes, it's about early timing, it's about taking the ball off the bounce. Whether it's stealing the first attack in the receive game, getting in for that Chiquita, the banana flip. Whether it's simply the counters here, the short strokes. See how whippy the backhand is in that rally, even though the shot misses. Ma Long's ball goes long, no backhand needed, no more. What a surprise shot here. Lin Gaoyuan caught in the middle of the table like a deer in headlights, looking up surprised. Wow. Watching that one go off. As fast as Lin Gaoyuan is, to just watch anything, you know it's good. This one completely escapes. Couldn't hear the contact, but imagine it hit the edge of the racket. 6 points apiece, dead even. Having a look at it here. Interesting. Did the ball kid come around the corner? Will the ball kid? The ball's off screen anyway for now.
Light, 6-all.
I was just earlier thinking about the fact that we don't see Ma Long serving long to the baseline as much as we used to. Against right-handed players in the modern game, almost nobody served aces down the forehand line, but here it's a backhand. It's unlikely to ace Lin Gaoyuan. Well executed forehand flick, Ma Long, making sure it lands. Not the shot, but the eye contact. Making sure that it lands with the opponent. What just happened? Wow, one more shot. Lin Gaoyuan keeps getting it back, and Ma Long's right there waiting with another answer. In case you're newer to the sport, if you don't already know, consider yourself privileged to be witnessing this live. Every match that I get to watch Ma Long play is just like a gift. Maybe there is no perfection, but the player closest to it has 4 game points for a 2-0 lead over the Dark Knight. World rank number 2, Lin Gaoyuan. By world ranking, because he hasn't been out of the game on injury, Lin Gaoyuan is the stronger world-ranked player. Outright victory, 11-6. More dominant than game 1 by quite a bit. Ma Long leads 2-0. He's halfway there, but it's not over yet. Game number 3 of the men's singles final coming up right after this. Players back for game number 3. Ma Long with the crowd behind him here, leading 2-0. Ma Long has been admired by many throughout the country for a long time. Again, Olympic gold medalist in 2016 and the strong hopeful, the leading candidate right now to own the gold medal in Tokyo 2020. I talked about how quickly Harimoto learns after his losses. Came quite close to a 2-0 lead against Ma Long. But in the crucial moments, the player under pressure, the champion on screen, he was the one who thrived. Now remember, no coaches in the corners, so it's up to the players to call their own timeouts. I think if Ma Long scores one more point here, wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout from Lin Gaoyuan. Not so fast. Ma Long turning the corner, thought he had handcuffed Lin Gaoyuan. Interestingly enough, service-wise, as we saw the stats between the games, Ma Long is mostly staying away from the forehand of Lin Gaoyuan. But this time he serves clear out to the forehand. Gets the Chiquita receive the backhand from over the table. And punishes Lin Gaoyuan for leaving his post at the backhand corner. Says, hey, go fetch. Oh yeah, fetch this too. But the timing of the backhand quick and the angle wide. Lin Gaoyuan creating quite a challenge here. That's Ma Long's way of saying, I want to stay away from your forehand. I don't want you to have a clean opening. Just shaking my head with disbelief. It's so amazing to me that Ma Long is able to spin the ball from under the table in that position in a way that actually shuts down the counterattack. Lin Gaoyuan stuck looking at his equipment. Maybe it's not your equipment. Maybe it's Ma Long. Could be the equipment, but if I had to put a percentage on the combination, not that those two are mutually exclusive, I'd give Ma Long most of the credit. No timeout yet, Lin Gaoyuan. The 3-point differentials there. Here it is, the timeout. I think the coach would have called it right at the 5-2 point. Lin Gaoyuan doing just the same, just taking a minute to realize, you know what? This is a good differential. I don't know if there was a science done, a study. I wouldn't be surprised if China led that study saying, what is the ideal differential in points for timeout? Well, maybe 4 points is a little bit too much to recover, and 2 points, well, you don't want to waste a timeout. But 3, that's danger zone, but still recoverable. So it seems to be the most common differential in points for a timeout. But also players in a lead, depending on how much they have, when the lead disintegrates, will wait a little bit longer. Still just makes me laugh to hear Despacito played quickly, a little bit ironic. Ma Long up 5-2 here, as focused as can be. They're both friendly people. Lin Gaoyuan, I will say, just seems to be, and they're both quite down to earth. But Ma Long has been a major celebrity for a long time, so he knows what it's like to have kids, grown men, women, just about anyone you could imagine, any demographic chasing after him, begging for a picture and an autograph. Lin Gaoyuan hasn't hit that part of his life just yet. From time to time, sure. But he does seem to be quite excited to talk to people, to be friendly with people, very humble about everything, Lin Gaoyuan. Still a very bright future ahead, but right now, the dark night with some dark times here in the final. That's a tough one for Lin Gaoyuan to miss. Again, the camera angle, tough to know how high that ball sat, but it seemed plenty high for him to finish that point successfully. Even with Ma Long on the other side of the table, at least get the ball down. There's the backhand, slingshot backhand, really quick. Little hesitation, takes it early. It's earned Lin Gaoyuan several points. this game. A few handful throughout the match so far, but still he's down by 4 at the top of the screen.
Let 7-3.
Thinking about the players that entered this tournament and how well Ma Long has had to play. Quarterfinal against world number 1. Semi-final against the greatest threat to the Chinese. And the final against the Dark Knight, world number 2. I would not call this an easy draw.
Let 8-3.
Let service. Interesting. If I had to guess just from the reaction, I would have guessed wet ball, which is maybe what it is. They'll replay it. Ma Long knows what that's like. Had an experience with Harimoto earlier, but I guess the evidence wasn't strong enough to make the call in his favor. It is the responsibility of the server to keep the ball dry. Ma Long getting more and more dominant as the match moves on. Barely pulls out game number 1, 12-10 in extra points. There's the forehand. It's been a while. Gaoyuan hasn't turned, but this ball just a little bit more central on the table, a little softer, allows him the time to bring that forehand out to play. I'm curious to see how long it would take Ma Long to become world number 1 again. Bring out your forehand, I dare you. I'll bring mine out, says Ma Long. You want to go? You want to go forehand to forehand? I'm down. 5 game points for a 3-0 lead. Who you trying to get crazy? Man, 11-5, even more dominant than the game before. Laying down the law, dictating how it goes out here. Ma Long up 3-0, 1 game away from another shutout, his 8th China Open title and his 28th World Tour title. We will see. Stay right here to see if history gets made today. Men's singles final of the China Open, game 4, coming up right after this. Back for game number 4. I don't think anyone's gone anywhere. I think you've been here the whole time. You're not leaving now because Ma Long is 1 game away from another major record. Backhand off the bounce, just too smooth. Think about the competition that Ma Long has faced to be here. World number 1, world number 2. Six months absent from the game. 6 months on the world tour for professional, with players improving as fast as Tomokazu Harimoto. Must be a light over here. I'm watching on TV, but I realized he's pointing pretty close to me. I've got nothing shiny here. No lights anyway, I guess. I've actually got a shiny painting of Ma Long on my shoe, but he can't see that from where he is. I mean, it'd be cool if he could, but I think I'm going to wait till after the tournament for that, as opposed to right now. That backhand, one of the best in the world, maybe the most underappreciated in the world. Although it's quite appreciated. I'm sure there are a handful of other backhands, Darko Jorgic maybe. Spraying it around the table from behind. Ma Long, no problem to find the very deepest parts of the table. Watch the placement of these shots. One, second one right on the white of the line. That's all it takes, just two. 64-24, the RPMs on that. Denny Kojul, another one. Underappreciated backhand. Short side of the table, the forehand on the step around at the first towel break. The only player who needs a real break right now is LIN Gaoyuan. Just a forehand to desire. This is, you can work your entire life. The rest of the world will not be able to produce this shot. Time and time again under pressure. Second point for LIN Gaoyuan here. Still a ways to go. Saved 3 game points, and game number 1 was down 7-10. Again, according to Qin Zhijian, former personal coach for Ma Long. Nobody has ever come back from down 0-3 against Ma Long. It's like coming back from the dead. Down 0-3 against Ma Long, you're already done statistically. You're done. You're done, son. Of course, LIN Gaoyuan cannot accept that here. He still has to play all the way through and is going to do everything he can to be the first in history. Wow, to win that point. In terms of luck off the top of the net, this ball came down as deep as possible to the corner. This is not lobbing, it's fishing turned into attacking nearly. Sails it back deep on the table, one more a little bit lower. As soon as that ball hit the net and shot up in the air, I thought, well, there's a chance this could come down. Where it came down was almost like an effective lob. Still had some top spin on it, was deep to the corner. Very quiet Chole. From a player who used to be quite vocal, LIN Gaoyuan. I mean, if you saw him around the 20-year mark, he was competing with Tomokazu Harimoto for most vocal choles, most audible choles. Ma Long still has his timeout. He's up by 3 here. 2 in a row for LIN Gaoyuan. Taking a little walk here, sort of a mini timeout. I wonder if he's going to call timeout now. Yep, here he is. Here's the timeout. It's that 3-point differential. He's up 3-0, does not want to have to worry about Lin Gaoyuan making his comeback. Remember, Ma Long won 4-0 last time they played, being up 7-2. His opponent has a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence, is finding some rhythm. I mean, Ma Long was winning nearly everything before. 7 out of 9 points, even off the net. And the DJ is killing it here in the best way possible. The atmosphere has been quite exciting. If you haven't been to a World Tour event, I can't encourage you strongly enough to be here. While you might not be able to get an autograph from Ma Long right before a match, at some point, wouldn't surprise me if you can. Ma Long, Lin Gaoyuan, the rest of your favorites. But seeing it in person, it's just mind-blowing how fast they're actually moving. Seeing the arc of the ball, how they handle with the pressure, coming into the stadium to set up their corner before the match. So the timeouts have been spent. Can Ma Long grab the wheel once again, take the reins? Well, he is the captain. He is the dictator. Lin Gaoyuan fan club here in the crowd as well. Ma Long seems to have the monopoly of the fans. Even the security guards chanting for Ma Long at times, quite audibly in his matches earlier in the tournament. I think it was against Koki Niwa. Big point right there to regain control. Up by 4, the second towel break. The trophy out of focus right now. All focus on winning the next point for Ma Long. Yes, I did say that. Fist clinched, 1 point closer to a clean sweep. And history to be made here today. 9-4, he continues. I start to think to myself, what sort of a celebration are we going to see from Ma Long, and am I going to understand it? Many said he was cooling down the racket, blowing off the flames after Qatar. Is it Qatar, the world champs? It is now 6-game match and title points. Not just the China Open, but the most winning player on the World Tour since its inception in 1996. His 8th title, could it be? The photographers are out, the cameras are up and ready. The dictator holds down the regime once again. He creates history. Ma Long says how it goes. No celebration, but a pat on the butt for Lin Gaoyuan. Congratulations, Ma Long. Just another check mark, another tally for a player who has so many titles, comes back from injury, and hasn't lost a World Tour match. Wins the Qatar Open, wins the World Championships, and wins the China Open for an 8th time. The greatest of all time, continuing to add evidence to that claim right here. He won't deny it, but he'll say humbly, who knows what the future holds, but at this point in time, I think it's fair to say, I am the best. Ma Long has worked so incredibly hard, and this is his time. Congratulations to the Dragon, the captain, the dictator. 10 points, deuce in the first, but 6, 5, and 4 for second, third, and fourth. Just unbelievable. Tokyo 2020, not too far away. We will see what happens, and as the cheerleaders dance and you learn about service placement, if you can concentrate, enjoy and stick around, because we'll have the awards ceremony coming up right after this.